So instead of just driving from place to place, I chose to travel on those iconic Swiss trains. I mean, you see photos of these beautiful bright red trains cutting through the mountains, and it's something I always wanted to experience because, again, it makes the train journey part of the photographs and part of the bigger story.
Hi, I'm Harriet, concept lead and Byway, and I'm here today travelling along the North Norfolk Railway Poppy Line, joined in the window seat here by Amelia Le Brun.
Hi, I'm Amelia. I'm a travel and lifestyle photographer based here in North Norfolk.
Cool, well, how fitting that we're on this beautiful train line, and I'm so excited to chat to you a little bit more about your work. Is there a particular photo that you've taken that you really feel like sums up your style and approach?
I think the one that immediately springs to mind, summer before last, up in northern Norway. I was driving my 1976 camper van around Norway with my rescue French bulldog called Pork Chop, and we sort of turned to live nocturnally because it was the midnight sun. Best and most beautiful golden light happened between sort of 12 midnight and 2 a.m. and we were driving down this a lonely road in the mountains, and the sun, there was some low fog on the horizon, the mountains were peeking out and the light was beautiful, and I just grabbed this little camera here which I have with me today, and as I was driving, I just got a quick shot, fired it off as films. I had no idea. I just stopped it and I carried on driving to my destination to go for a hike. And I sort of almost forgot about having even taken it until I got scans back when I got back to the UK. And I feel like it really embodies everything I love about shooting film.
Looking at your photos, something I was really struck by is that you seem to be very drawn to kind of small moments rather than these epic vistas, which a lot of us associate with travel photography. So I'm just wondering what about that you feel particularly drawn to?
When I was earlier on in my career, I was constantly chasing these big moments, thinking that sort of the more epic a photo, the more sort of people would relate to it. But I think that's not the case. A lot of people, and myself especially, feel a lot more connected with photos that feel real, because I think the things people do relate to more are the small moments. I was on the Amalfi Coast in Italy a couple of years ago, and I actually went in winter, and I was really apprehensive about going in the winter, and it threw me for a while not being able to get those classic shots. But what I came away with is actually one of my favourite shots. Big, beautiful blossom tree arching over sort of the lookout to the beach, and I ended up taking a photo of the sun setting, the famous houses, but not how you're used to seeing them, with this big, beautiful load of blossom coming over in the foreground. So I think that was a moment that I was able to step back and actually taught me not to judge a book by its cover almost, and not to jump to conclusions just because somewhere is out of season. I love off season. What you do get is that lovely soft winter light. One of my favourite things to shoot, in the UK especially, is beaches and visiting summer places out of season. Cornwall, for example, is one of my favourite places to visit in the winter because you're not getting crowds. You're getting often slightly rougher weather, which makes more beautiful swell, spray to surf photos. Everything feels more local, and that's something I often chase in my photos, is that feeling of feeling at home in a photo and not chasing the big tourist spots.
So you obviously shoot digital but also on film, and I'm wondering whether there's a discrepancy in the sense of speed that you get actually shooting on film as a way to embrace a certain slowness to your work.
I used to spend so much time looking back at my camera, focusing on getting the perfect shot, the shot that was sort of technically perfect, that I often found I would miss the entire experience. It's sort of, people often these days see a scene through an iPad, through an iPhone, through a camera, and I found myself really falling into that trap and saying, oh, please take one more, please take one more. And shooting film allows me to embrace the imperfections. It's always a gamble. If my film gets lost in the post, if that didn't come out, if I got my settings wrong. But it does allow me to slow down, take the frame, and then enjoy what I'm doing. And the photos I get often turn out to be favourite photos over any of the digital work I shoot.
And what do you think that can add to the quality of the photo?
You can retouch a photo and take abstractions and everything until it's almost sterile. But there's something just about that, the added grain or the slight blur or it not being quite right, that makes it feel more real.
And is there a picture that comes to mind?
Complete luck. I didn't know if it was about shooting into the sun, and I was shooting this little platform over the ocean, and people, mostly sort of young teenage children, were jumping off the platform, backflipping into the ocean and splashing and whooping, and the smell of warm salty air and sun cream and that feeling of end of summer, a big hug. And that photo, so again, not knowing the wind of the film, taking the frame, shooting into the sun, which often doesn't work. And it's one of those photos, again, I just feel back on that beach.
And if you could board a train anywhere tomorrow, where would you be heading and what would you hope to capture?
Italy is somewhere I'm constantly drawn to. It's mostly from the food, exceptional food. Probably all the way down to Sicily. I think would be an amazing way to experience full lakes. So, you know, from the mountains of northern Italy, down to the rolling hills of Tuscany, and then down to that coastal magic that Sicily has, those long, golden days, locals, the amazing food. Like everything, I've hoped to capture that experience of the journey and that feeling of being local. I think Italy and Sicily really lend themselves to that slow way of life as a general rule. It's a country that, unlike us, you never seem to see them rushing. Italians always seem to have time to have their coffee and chat and to slow down. And I think, Italy's one of my favourite countries in Europe, so that would definitely be where I'd be heading. So,
Lovely. Well, that is such a good note to end on. Thank you so much for joining me in the window seat on this beautiful train. And looking forward to seeing all the photos that are ahead of you. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.